The following review may be unsuitable to viewers of a young age.
Bioshock 2 is a very good game. It is a follow-up to one of the best games of all time. After all these years, does it live up to the reputation of the first game?
Well, no, it doesn't really. But that's not to say that it is a terrible game, because as I said at the beginning, it is a very good game. So I'm going to defend this game. But I'm going to find it really hard because the first one is just perfection.
Naturally, the game, like its predecessor, always looked beautiful. The underwater city of Rapture is one of the best environments in gaming. The water looks real. The game is engaging when you are fighting splicers and solving those stupid puzzles. I'm not going to lie, I never really liked these puzzles, even the first game. But apart from that, everything else was just grand. Everything is there. The music is atmospheric. You even have 1950s music in the loading screens, which was a nice touch. What this game lacks is an identity. It's too similar to the first one. Granted, you're no longer just some dude knocking the shit out of everyone with a wrench. I mean, who the fuck did that? I know some people did that with the final boss of the first game, and it actually worked, which is just shit in its own right. But here, you are a big daddy. This is really cool. It's just like the thing that you fought in the first game over and over again. You get to become one of them in this. I like that there are returning elements such as the plasmids. I mean, come on. They had to return in this game. The weapons are different this time. Your primary weapon is a drill, and it feels so fucking good just killing my enemies with this thing. Also, one of the enemies you will come across quite a few times is one of the biggest bitches that you will ever see in video games, period. It's the Big Sister. She is one tough enemy to face, and trust me, when I say that she is a bitch, I really mean it. She is one of the biggest bitches going, so fuck her. Apart from this, I honestly find this game a bit hard to distinguish from the first one. Apart from the fact that it's the second one, because it's called Bioshock 2, and it's the second Bioshock game. It's a real shame, because if things were different, and if we hadn't had the first game to compare this to, then I bet I will be singing down the streets now saying how amazing this is and that you should be playing this before you die. In reality though, I can only say this for Bioshock 1. Bioshock 2 feels too familiar to the first game in terms of appearance, and some of the things you do, like the in-game objectives, are nice, but it's the same sort of pattern to the first one. You have an arrow at the top of the screen, you follow it, you complete your objective, job done. Rinse and repeat. I would have liked a bit more originality to this one, to set this apart from the first one. I feel like I'm hating on this too much. Truth is, I love Bioshock 2, but I have always found this one to be the one which is more difficult to get into. After a couple of hours or so of playtime, I found that there was a big difficulty spike, and suddenly I started dying a few times. This never happened to me in the first game, so that has put me off every single time. That has put me off from playing this game. I've carried on, but I've always just felt so pissed off thinking, why did I die at this bit? It felt like it was always some bullshit reason why I died. One thing I do like is the story for this game. I feel that that is quite good, but it is less engaging when you compare it to the first one. I mean, let's face it, the first one was always going to be hard to top, so I'll excuse 2K for that. They tried their best. Bioshock 2 is a sequel. It is well known to many that 9 times out of 10 in any form of media, the sequel is not as good as the first one. This is without doubt a great follow-up to the events which happened in Bioshock 1, and I agree with many who say that this game really turns it up a gear towards the end. But by then, I ask, why is it only towards the end? If we had this all the way through, then I might be sitting here now telling you that this is way better than the first. Sadly, I'm not. Bioshock 2 does a great job in taking you back to where it all started for the first game, with the familiar gameplay mechanics and those odd jump scare moments. You can tell instantly that this is a Bioshock game. Overall, its biggest crime is that it's too samey and it fails to give me something new to make me brag about it and make me think that this is something far better than the first one. This is probably why with the third one we ended up with a completely different setting altogether. I will end this review by saying that if you love the first game, then I would consider that you play this on whatever platform you can get your hands on it for, whether it's the original Xbox 360 release or the Nintendo Switch release. You will enjoy it for what it is, and it does add for the first game, but apart from that, this is nothing too groundbreaking.